Melanie Kruger? Here. The doctor will be seeing you now. Melanie Kruger was at a psychiatric clinic for a session with Dr. Albert Wallace. Miss Melanie Kruger, come in, take a seat, Dr. Wallace said with a smile on his face. So what brings you here today, Melanie? I'm here on my parents' insistence. They think I'm depressed. Are you depressed? Well, I did go through a very bad time in my life. My mother passed away when I was 6, and it's been quite tough on me since. I didn't have a good relationship with my father, and after he got married again, things between me and him became more distant. Dr. Wallace began scribbling down on his notepad. Go on. My stepmother isn't too fond of me, but I'm trying to make things work. Dr. Wallace nodded, but just before he was about to speak, he suddenly got a call. Just give me one moment. It's my wife again, he said as he walked out. I've already explained to you, Amy, 2 doses every morning. At first it might feel like it's not working, it's making you more depressed, but trust me, it will work with time. So where were we again? Dr. Wallace rushed into the room, picking up his notepad. We were talking about Kim, how I wanted to be a supermodel like her. Oh, yes we were. Suddenly realized this man wasn't actually listening or noting down anything she had been telling him. Not once did she mention anything like that. I was about to tell you before I left that that's a great idea. You have all the potential. But now let's talk about the issues. Since when have you been experiencing these strange things? Strange things? You see and hear things, right? Now Melanie started to feel annoyed. She hadn't mentioned anything about hearing or seeing things either. No, I don't. And why is it that you don't like talking about it? There's nothing to talk about. I told you I don't experience anything like that. But you hear voices, you see things. Are these your imaginary friends? Perhaps friends you relied upon through your years of loneliness? Why are you asking me the same thing when I'm telling you I don't have these problems? You do, Melanie. I'm an expert, and you can trust me. You don't want to accept it, but you have some mental problems, and we're here to solve them. Melanie sighed as she sat there quietly, not knowing what to say anymore. Do your friends appear to you when no one is around, or are they always with you? Melanie clenched her teeth inside her mouth. This guy was pushing the limits now. Hearing the screams of Dr. Wallace, other staff members, and Melanie's stepmother, Rosaline, rushed into the room. While the staff rushed to Dr. Wallace, Rosaline caught hold of Melanie immediately. What did you do? Melanie smirked as she walked out the door. The psychiatrist has turned into a psycho himself. Rosaline looked at the doctor's condition, bewildered. What just happened? After the night, Melanie's late mother manifested herself to her. She and her father were able to get some closure after 10 long years of her mysterious death. And along with that, Melanie and her father's strained relationship started to get better. Jeffrey was now loving and kind towards his daughter. No, you're not allowed. Why not? Rosaline, I've been hearing you yell for so long, what's wrong? I just wanted to go to the ice cream parlor with my friends and she's not allowing me. Jeffrey, they're not friends, they're a bad influence. No, they're not. Dad, please. It's all right, Rosaline. Melanie, you can go, but be back on time. Really? Thanks, Dad. Melanie was recovering from her depression. Home finally felt like home again when she knew there was someone she could rely on. But it wasn't only her relationship with her father, but ever since that night she saw her mother, all the paranormal things that had once happened to her started again. Now, Melanie was able to see things, hear things from the other side. Things moved around in her room again. The dolls that had been laying idle on her shelf all these years ended up in strange places at strange times. In the middle of the night, she often woke up to eerie noises in the halls, or when she would look out the window, she could spot what others couldn't. Jeffrey knew his daughter had always been different since her childhood years, but Rosaline, she couldn't understand the change. From a depressed teenager to suddenly becoming cheerful and confident, Melanie wasn't like this before. And it was on one night Rosaline woke up hearing murmurs from the kitchen. "How many years has it been since you died? What is it like on the other side?" Rosaline hurried to the kitchen to find the back door open. She was shocked to see Melanie standing outside. "Melanie, who are you talking to?" "I was just having a hard time sleeping." "Don't you dare lie to me, Missy." Rosaline searched the backyard, but there was no sign of anyone. "Melanie, I want the truth. Who was here? I heard you talking." "I was just counting sheep." Hearing the noises, Jeffrey walked out from his sleep. "Rosaline, what time is it? Why are you yelling?" "Melanie was probably meeting some boy out in the patio." "No, I wasn't. There's no one here, Dad." "What? Rosaline, it's 1 a.m. I heard her talking myself, Jeffrey." "Rosaline, we all need sleep. There's no one here. It's late." Melanie had been behaving very odd. Rosaline had noticed her speaking to herself, if not with a boy. But what bothered her more was the fact that Jeffrey supported all his daughter's shenanigans. He didn't believe any of the things Rosaline told him, and as the days passed, Rosaline was getting fed up. "Mother, this is getting intolerable. All of a sudden now Jeffrey loves his daughter so much? This is just devilish. She's trying to control her father to take revenge on you. I told you don't marry this man, but you didn't listen." "I know, Mother. I made a mistake. I should have listened. You need to know how to make him sit and stand at your fingertips." "I don't know how, Mother, but you're right. This needs to stop." And when the strange incidents continued, Rosaline decided it was time to have a talk with Jeffrey. "Jeffrey, I think something's wrong with Melanie. She's been behaving strange lately." "Strange? Like what?" "I've been getting a feeling something's not right. It's either she's having an affair or she talks to herself. Teenagers will be teenagers, Rosaline. It's a phase." "No, Jeffrey. This is something more. Melanie's showing signs of schizophrenia. Maybe we should take her to a psychiatrist." "She's fine, Rosaline. Besides, I don't think she'll agree to visit a psychiatrist." The next morning, when Melanie was leaving for school as usual, Rosaline stopped her again, but this time it was for a different reason. "Hold on, Melanie. Have your breakfast before you go to school." "Wow, Rosaline, is today something special?" "No, it's just the usual. I made what Melanie likes." Melanie passed her father a glance before she sat down to enjoy her waffles topped with strawberries and whipped cream. Why was Rosaline suddenly being so considerate? And that wasn't it. Later, when Melanie returned home from school, Rosaline was all ready to take her shopping. "I'm going to the spa. Why don't you come along, Melanie? You can get your hair cut." "All right, I'll get ready." "Dad, you've noticed how nice she's being, right?" "Yeah, she was complaining to me a few days ago. Maybe she got scared seeing you do these paranormal things. That's why." But the really nice behavior only lasted for so long, before Rosaline suddenly fell ill, and it was on one afternoon that she suddenly came to Melanie looking horribly sick. She looked weak and was sweating. "Melanie, I've been feeling so under the weather these past few days. I booked a doctor's appointment, but your dad's busy, and I don't think I'll be able to go myself in this condition. I was wondering if you could come along. I could use a helping hand." When Melanie saw Rosaline's condition, she agreed to take her stepmother to the doctor. But the minute they entered the office, she realized what this was all about. Rosaline wasn't sick, and this wasn't Rosaline's doctor. It was a psychiatrist's office, and Rosaline had booked a visit for Melanie. "Mother, this girl is scaring me. She talks to ghosts, imaginary people. I heard her saying these strange things. She sounds like a schizophrenia patient. She hallucinates ghosts are around her." "I thought of that, Mother, but Jeffrey won't believe me. He's always making excuses for the girl." "Then if they're going to take it the hard way, you have to take the hard way as well." "How, Mother?" "Treat the girl good for a few days, get on her good side. Then you pretend to be sick and ask her to help take you to the doctors. But you take her to the shrink instead. There, if she creates a scene, you also create a scene. The people will think she's mad and hold her down. And if the girl goes along with it, well, once you start visiting a shrink, he'll prescribe her some meds, people will automatically suppose something's wrong with her. What did you do? The psychiatrist has turned into a psycho himself. Melanie wasn't someone to create a scene in public. She agreed to see the psychiatrist, but when she entered the room and began speaking to him, she realized Albert Wallace wasn't an honest doctor. Do your friends appear to you when no one is around, or are they always with you? They're with me all the time. See, now we're starting to open up. Do you keep their names, or do they have their own names? They have their own names. And what are their names? Her name is Natalie Newman. The look on Dr. Wallace's face suddenly darkened. Who is she? You don't know who she is? I can see her and hear her. What is she saying? Why? Do you want to see what I see? Do you want to hear what I hear? Melanie looked straight into Dr. Wallace's eyes. When he caught her gaze, Melanie could see the discomfort already. Dr. Wallace suddenly began shifting his gaze right behind her. He stood up from his chair. No, this can't be real, he said as he backed away to the corner of his room, covering his head as if he were shielding himself from something. Healthcare was nothing but a business for Dr. Albert Wallace. Whenever he would receive a patient, he would instigate them towards believing they were troubled in their lives, even when they weren't. He prescribed them medications that would have reverse effects, causing depression and anxiety to an otherwise happy and sane person, ensuring him better business. He was even sick-minded enough to drug his own wife and keep her at his mercy. Rosaline had visited him prior to Melanie's appointment, and they had discussed Melanie's situation ahead of time. But what neither of them realized was that Melanie was truly gifted with an extraordinary ability to see into another world around them. And when Melanie sat down in the room, she was able to see Natalie Newman, the late wife of Dr. Albert Wallace. People thought she took her own life in depression and that Dr. Wallace was trying to help her out, but only Dr. Wallace knew the truth. Melanie not only had the ability to see into the supernatural world, but ever since that night her mother had visited her, Melanie now had the ability to show others what she could see. That night, it was through her powers that her father was able to see and speak to her mother again. And today, Melanie had allowed Dr. Wallace to experience the same. She's right there. Doctor, what are you talking about? There's no one there. No, take her away from me. Get away from me. Take her away from me. Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.